Welcome to Cat and Jess Talk the Best, where we're going to be talking about IMDb's top 250 movies from April 12th, 2018. My name is Kat.
And I'm Jess.
And today we are talking about number 222, Monsters, Inc., an animation adventure comedy from 2001. This has an 8.1 on 709,043 votes. It's gone up 8,000 votes almost since I did these notes yesterday.
Wow.
I took my rating down.
Okay.
Because I'll put it back up in a minute.
That works.
Spoiler-free synopsis. Monsters Incorporated is the largest scare factory in the monster world, with James P. Sullivan is one of the top scarers. Sullivan is a huge, intimidating monster with blue fur, large purple spots, and horns. His scare assistant, his best friend and roommate, is Mike Wazowski, a green, opinionated, feisty little one-eyed monster. Visiting from the human world is Boo, a tiny girl who goes where no human has ever gone before.
I love it.
That's such a great synopsis.
It is. That's probably one of the best ones I've seen. Alright, so this is directed by its three directors. I couldn't find them if they did, like, another film, all three of them together.
Oh, okay.
So, it's Pete Docter, David Silverman, and Lee Unkrich. And it stars Billy Crystal, John Goodman, and Mary Gibbs.
Yeah.
Those are our top three.
Yeah.
Billy Crystal is Mike. John Goodman is Sullivan, or Sully.
Yep.
And Mary Gibbs is Boo.
Yep. So, Rotten Tomatoes, the average rating is an 8. 96% of critics liked it. 194 critical reviews. 186 fresh. 8 rotten. 2 fresh, Joe Morgenstern. We've had him a few times before.
Yep.
The uses of enchantment haven't changed. Kids still need, maybe more than ever, the special comfort of fabulous threats they can control. Tom Huddleston. It's in the visuals that Monsters, Inc. comes to life, from the jazzy Norman McLaren-influenced opening to the hilarious shaky cam amateur dramatic recap over the closing credits.
Okay.
So he's literally saying, like, the visuals throughout the whole movie are great.
Yeah.
From the opening credits to the closing credits.
I mean, it's really good animation.
Yeah, it is. 2 rotten, Journey Haleman. I don't mind flights of fancy in a film, but I do like a consistent tone. This film fails to deliver one. How?
What movie are you watching? Because I don't agree.
Yeah, I was like, I think you're talking about the wrong movie there, bud.
Okay.
David Butterworth. I just really liked his name.
That's what I was going to ask.
Like, a lot of times I don't read the reviews. I just like the names of the people, or I recognize them because we've had them a few times.
I'm like, it's the last name. I know you too well.
So, David Butterworth. The complexities of the script, while clever, will likely fly over the heads of most within its target demographic. Okay, but you gotta think about that. Yeah, there are a few things that will fly over the heads of kids, but those things get to the parents of the kids that are watching it.
And who takes the kids to the movies?
Yeah.
The parents. It's gotta be entertaining for the parents, too.
Yeah. And that's with, like, literally every movie.
That's
even Disney movies do that. There's stuff...
This is a Disney Pixar.
Yeah, that's true. But, like, without the Pixar bit, because Pixar definitely claims this.
Yes.
With just Disney, they do that.
Yes, they do.
Universal's animation does that.
Mm-hmm.
DC's animation does that.
DreamWorks.
Literally every animation company has stuff for the kids and the adults, because you can't just provide entertainment for one. You have to give something to the adults that are taking these 5-year-old kids to see these movies.
Exactly. I mean, I think a good example of this is Shrek.
Yes.
Shrek is a great example of that.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it appeals to the kids and especially appeals to the adults.
Yes. Especially with that Count Duloc song.
Oh my god. There's the musical version of it. Oh my god, I love the musical, but I'm gonna get into that.
I love that movie. So the consensus. Clever, funny, and delightful to look at, Monsters, Inc. delivers another resounding example of how Pixar elevated the bar for modern all-ages animation. All-ages animation. You hear that, Mr. Butterworth?
All.
So the income. The budget was $115 million. It made that back by a lot.
Yeah.
The gross in the U.S. was $289,916,256. The international was $287,509,748. So the worldwide was $577,425,734. It literally made $2 million less internationally.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Movies don't really do that. It's pretty rare when a movie does that.
It's pretty high grossing. Yeah.
Yeah. The opening weekend, it made $62,577,067. That's even pretty high for as of now. And this movie's 17 years old.
It is.
Because Halloween, that just came out a few weeks ago, made $80 million on its opening weekend. So the all-time domestic rank is 90.
That's pretty high.
Yeah. And its highest all-time rank was 18, which it got February 3rd, 2002, which is 4 months after it came out.
Yeah, that's true.
Awards. It won 1 Oscar.
Best original song.
Yep. If I Didn't Have You. And then 13 other awards. It won a BAFTA award for Best Feature Film. It won an Annie Award for Outstanding Character Animation. The ASCAP Film and Television Music Awards, top box office films. The Bogey Awards, it won silver. DVD exclusive awards. The menu design on the DVD for the 20th Anniversary Collector's Edition. Which I don't have, so I don't know what that means. My guess is it's really entertaining. The Golden Trailer, Best Animation Family for the #1 trailer. Grammy Awards, Best Song Written for a Motion Picture, Television, or Other Visual Media. The If I Didn't Have You. The Hochi Film Awards, Best Foreign Language Film. Phoenix Film Critics Society Awards, Best Animated Film. San Diego Film Critics Society Awards. It won a special award. Steve Buscemi.
Buscemi, yeah.
He won for his body of work in 2001. So he won for Monsters, Inc., Ghost World, Double Whammy, Domestic Disturbance, Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Satellite Awards, Best Youth DVD, Tokyo Anime Awards, International Theater Award. And the World Soundtrack Awards, If I Didn't Have You, Best Original Song Written for a Film.
I love that song.
Yeah.
It's so cute. You don't really expect Billy Crystal and John Goodman to be singing. And they sing so cute. Oh, I just love it. Oh.
So, initial thoughts.
I do remember watching this when it first came out, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I've loved it ever since.
Yeah, same here. I don't remember if I went to the theater or not, but I do remember watching it when I was little, and it was just entertaining. And I thought it was really funny because anytime there was a kid that wasn't scared, I was like, that's me. I'm not scared of the thing in my closet. So my door would have been a dead door.
I'm like, I think I watched this, I don't know how many times I watched it. I wore it out at some point. And I remember watching it because it had the blue VHS.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember taking it to school, and I made everybody watch it near the end of the school year. Because they're like, we need to watch a movie. I'm like, let's watch Monsters, Inc. And they're like, okay.
I wasn't allowed to take my movies to school.
They said I could. So I brought it, and we watched Monsters, Inc. in school, and it was awesome.
I wasn't allowed because mine were horror movies.
Well, yeah, you're the weird child who wants to watch, like, horror films.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I love this movie, and I have a special connection with it, but I'll say it later.
But yeah, I really enjoy it, and this is actually one of Sean's favorite movies. He actually has a Sully. It's in his office.
Isn't this one of Kevin's? He loves Mike Wazowski.
Yeah. Kevin, one of our friends, Kevin, likes Mike Wazowski.
It's like his favorite character.
And my husband likes Sully, so they're like,
oh,
they're perfect.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
That was your warning. If you haven't watched the film yet, then stop listening and come back once you've watched it. So the opening credits is just like a bunch of doors and monsters and letters coming in and out of them.
I always loved that.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just a different style of way of doing it.
Yeah. It was funny. Sean joined me like halfway through this movie, and I was taking notes. He's like, what are you writing? I was like, writing notes. It's like, about what? It's like, just things I want to say.
It's like, you know, because, I mean, we've seen these movies, like, I know I've seen this a bunch of times. You have too. But we still need to remember what little details are.
I mean, there's certain movies that I don't need to, like Batman. I'll write notes just cause, but I don't need them. The Help, I wrote notes just because I don't need to.
You did.
But then there's some movies where I'm like, yes, I've seen it a ton of times, but I'm writing the notes just to make sure that I get the things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So, then after the credits, there's a door, and it creeps open into a kid's bedroom.
And kid's sleeping.
Yeah. And a monster, you see the shadow come in. And the kid wakes up and screams.
And so it scares the monster
Yeah,
instead.
And he like falls and is tripping and rolls out the door, and then you hear simulation terminated. Simulation terminated. And they're going over what he did wrong, and he's like, I got scared, or I fell down.
It's like you left the door open.
Because they think that kids are toxic to them.
Yes, they're toxic, and if a child touches any of them, they'll die.
Yeah. So you can't leave the door open, because if you leave the door open, kid can get in to their world.
Foreshadowing.
So you learn that the city is powered by the screams of children. And then you jump to two of our main characters, Mike and Sully.
And Sully's asleep in bed, and you hear, like, this talking on, like, it seems like it's on the radio.
Yeah.
But it's really Mike trying to wake Sully up.
Yeah. And then they go through, like, this whole training routine in the morning.
Working out, yeah.
And then Mike gets all excited because the commercial's coming on for Monsters Incorporated. And this is his first ever commercial, and he's so excited. And when you get to him, the Monsters Inc. logo is right over his face. Which his face is like his whole body.
He's just like a big green circle with an eyeball and a mouth.
Two little legs and two little horns. And so all you can see is the Monsters Inc. symbol with two little horns and two little legs coming out of it and his arms. Because he's just a little ball.
Adorable ball.
So then they're going to work, and they're talking about how there's a scream shortage. So they're running out of power.
Yeah, Mike wants to drive his car, but it's like, nope.
Sully's like, nope. And Sully has been... They walk into work, and there's two guys straightening pictures. Two monsters straightening pictures. And they're all the same picture.
Of Sully.
Yeah, it's all a picture of Sully, and he is the scarer of the month, and has been for the past, it looks like 2 years.
It's like, I love how Mike, like, kind of tries to get into the picture, too, but he's always, like, kind of, like, half in, or, like, kind of pushed out, or, like, there's, like, only, like, corner of his head or something.
Yeah. And, then you see there's an invisible monster, because they're in the locker room.
William is Celia.
Oh, yep, sorry. Go ahead.
So, at the front desk, there's the monster. She's kind of like, how do you would describe her. Like her head.
Kind of like a Medusa.
Yeah, thank you. I was thinking of the character. Medusa, kind of like hair, like snakes for her hair and everything. Is Cecilia. This is Mike's girlfriend. You find out. So it's her birthday today,
Yes.
and Mike's gonna take her out to
His googly bear.
He's Googly Bear, and she's was a Smoochy Poo or something.
Yeah, Smoochy bear.
I'm like, and Sully's just like, oh, these two.
Yeah.
God. So that would be Kat. She would be Sully at that.
Sure would.
She would be.
I'd be like, shut up already. It's like, I'd be more vocal about it. I'd be like,
would.
God.
You would.
Because I'm a Slytherin. We're very vocal about our displeasure.
Yes, you are. It's like, so it's her birthday, and so Mike's gonna take her out to Harryhausen's, which is like this fancy sushi place.
Which Sully got them in there.
Yes,
Because he's pretty much famous because of how many screams he brings in daily.
Yes, because it's a good scarer.
Yes.
And then we go to Randall.
So they're in the locker room, and Randall is an invisible monster. He's kind of like this little snake thingy, but he has arms and legs, but he moves like a snake, and then he's got these little 3 funky thingies come out of the back of his head.
I'm squinting a lot.
Yeah.
I'll explain that with the later.
But he's an asshole.
Yeah, he blends in. He's pretty much, he's not very nice.
Yeah.
No.
And then Mike goes to pick up the cards for Sully, because you have to have these little key cards to get the doors to go scare the kids, and Roz is bitching at him for his paperwork, because he's not good at turning in his paperwork.
Nope. And Roz like the slow, just like...
She kind of reminds me of the sloths in Zootopia.
That's a good example, actually. I'm trying to drink here and she's trying to make me laugh. Yes, like those. That's a good example.
But so then they're on the scare floor, and everybody, you've got all the, they're like scare helpers.
It's like scare assistant.
Yeah, scare assistants. So they're all getting set up, they're getting the doors ready, and there's this, like, very triumphant almost music playing. And they go stand back at their desks, and then the scare monsters walk in.
Yeah.
And the music gets a little bit louder, and they come in, and they're all getting prepped, and then it shows you the scare board. Sully is in first, and then Randall. And then at the bottom, his name is like George or something. I think it's George.
I don't know, it's one of those.
I'm pretty sure it's George at the bottom, and you can understand why later, why George is at the bottom. But, I'm pretty sure George is at the bottom. But Randall and Sully have like 99,000 scare points. And then George has like 1,000.
Yeah, it goes like from really high to like blah.
Yeah. And there's like all kinds of different scores in between. And then you just go into this like really fun, entertaining scene of all these monsters going in these doors and scaring people. And you get to see everybody.
Yeah.
You see all of them.
It's like, so the screams, they're taken in, but like they're filled up like these canisters.
Yeah, these little yellow canisters with... Kind of reminds me of a battery, if you could see how much power was in it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking they're going for, actually. Good connection, Kat.
So, then there's this monster. He kind of reminds me of the werewolf in Nightmare Before Christmas.
I thought that too, actually.
But bluish.
Yeah.
And no fur.
Yeah.
Like really long claws.
Yeah. Like little claws. They're like, yeah.
So he comes out crying from this door. And he's like, what? His scare assistant comes over. What's wrong? She almost touched me. And then I hear this heavy rock music playing.
It's like, oh gosh, what was it? She was like
5 or 6.
5 or 6, and she's like not afraid of him.
That's me.
So that would be Kat. And so if that, I mean, they call those a dead door if the kid's not afraid anymore. And so the doors get shredded if
it
doesn't happen. Then we get to
Randall takes the lead for a total of 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
And while everybody's cheering him on that he took the lead, you see Mike and hear Sully roaring and this kid screaming, and Mike is like pulling these canisters and putting a bunch of them
so it's like quick, and it like Sully comes out, he's like, sleepover.
Yeah, slumber party. And then poor George. George comes out and he's like all dancing and happy. He's like, keep the doors coming, I'm on a roll. And he turns and he has a sock on his back.
It's a white sock.
And so his scare assistant yells 2319, which means that someone is contaminated.
Yeah.
So the CDA, which is the Child Detection Agency.
Yeah, they come bursting in and everything, and they like surround him. They take the sock off from him, and they're like very careful about it, and
place it on the
ground, like cover it like with this metal shell thing, and like it blows up.
And everybody's expecting a loud explosion, and they just kind of turn around after it.
It's like poof.
Yeah,
that's it. And then they cleaned up afterwards. He's like, "Oh, thanks, guys. That was a close one." And then like surround him and like put like this shower curtain up.
And they shave him and shower him and put him a cone on. And
it's like the cone of shame.
Poor George.
Yeah.
Poor George.
Cone of shame. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so the whole floor gets shut down for a little bit.
Yep, 30 minutes. Then it's the end of the day, and Mike and Sully are in the locker room. Mike is getting ready for his date, and he's
he has for odorant. The odorant spray.
Yeah.
Like, funny. It's like, what one did he get? I always forget.
Yeah, wet dog.
Wet dog, yeah.
Is the one he gets. So then he goes to talk to Roz, and Roz is still upset about the paperwork. And Sully's like, oh, I'll do it. So Sully goes back to get the paperwork after Mike has explained to him which ones go where. And when Sully is back on the scare floor, he comes across a door.
It's a white door with purple flowers on it.
And the door's not supposed to be there because it's the end of the day. Everybody's supposed to be going home.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden there's a kid running around on the scare floor.
Yeah, because he opens the door to check to see if there's anybody, like monsters in there scaring or not.
Yeah.
And that's when you see our cute little girl.
Yeah.
She's piddling, like he hears like the sound, like this his tail being picked up. It's like,
yeah. He turns around and looks, and he gets all scared, and she thinks it's hilarious. And she starts chasing him around, and he's running from him. He's
trying to get her back in the room, and she just keeps trying to like circling around him with like a game door.
Yeah.
Because she's little.
And then Randall comes back in, and like goes into the door and is like looking. And this Sully's like trying to get rid of all this stuff that the kid brought out.
It's like the toys that he like tripped on and everything. He tries flushing it. That doesn't work. So he has to shove it in this locker.
Yeah. And all this while, Mike is at dinner for Celia's birthday.
Yeah, of course. Our little girl was hanging on Sully.
Yep, hanging on his back.
And she calls him Kitty.
Yeah, she does.
That. And he's like freaks out. He puts her in like this gym bag that he finds. And he goes and sees Mike.
Yeah. And he, of course, brings the kid with him.
Of course.
And the kid gets out of the bag and is like terrorizing this restaurant.
Just scaring everybody because they're like, oh my god, it's a human kid. They're freaking out.
Yeah. So the CDA shows up again.
And Sully here somehow put her into like this little carton.
Yeah. Put her into
and they run
like
for
the
it.
Chinese takeout carton.
Yeah, they run for it.
And so then you see the news report, and all of these monsters are blowing it out of proportion. One's like, almost kill me with their laser eyes.
It's like, shook me like a dog.
Yeah, with their mind beam. It just gets blown out of proportion.
So typical.
And they, Mike and Sully have the news on, and the TV gets pushed over, and the kid pushes the TV over.
She's like, whoops.
She's like, uh-oh.
It's like they're trying to, like, they're afraid of her.
Yeah.
And they're, like, freaking out, and she's, like, running around, and she accidentally sneezes into, like, Mike's eye. And he sprays himself in the eye, and he, like, just, like, freaks out.
Yeah. And then they finally get the kid to calm down, and she's drawing pictures, and Sully is behind the couch throwing Cheerios or something.
Yeah, throwing food at him. Well, before that, because it was the little bear. It was Mike's bear.
Yeah,
Mike's
little bear.
And he's like, and Mike's like, no, this is mine.
Yeah.
And she, like, screams and, like,
The power
cries.
goes
The
crazy.
power goes crazy. But then, what was that? I'm trying to remember.
Then they give her the bear.
It's like he's trying to get it from her, and he lands in the trash, and she laughs. And
Yeah,
it's
all
like
kinds of books and everything fall on him.
she laughs, and like the power goes like
Crazy.
surges almost because
Yeah.
it's so powerful. It's like then she's coloring and eating cereal that Sully's tossing at her, and she's trying to get it in her mouth. And Mike's sitting at his desk trying to figure out a plan. And Sully's talking to him and everything. He's like, I don't think she's dangerous.
No, and he's got her coloring pictures and he's throwing Cheerios at her.
It's like, yeah, she just, cute little kid. She's coloring. She drew a picture of her and Sully together and they're holding hands. And he's like, oh, that's cute.
Yep. And then she's all yawning and tired, and so he takes her into his room and he's like laying down newspaper for her.
Newspaper and pouring a bunch of cereal on there.
Because he leaves a trail of Cheerios for her to come into the bedroom, and she, of course, sees the big, huge bed and gets in that.
Of course.
He's like, no, that's my bed.
And she's like, no.
Yeah. And she doesn't want him to leave the room because she's scared of the closet.
Make sure there's no monsters in there.
So he opens it, and he's like, there's no monsters in there. And she shows him a picture of Randall.
And Randall's our monster.
Yep, Randall is her monster. Because each kid has a specific monster that scares them.
Yep.
And they do it, like, based on some algorithm or something. They talk about it. But so he shows her that there's no monster in there, and he sits in there and waits for her to fall asleep.
And she's a little kid, so of course she's going to fall asleep like that.
Yeah.
Very quickly. So see if they're really tired, they're going to fall asleep quick.
Mm-hmm. So then the next day, they have to try and figure out what to do with her. So Sully's like, oh, we'll just take her to work. We gotta get her back.
So they disguise her using the fabric from Sully's chair,
yep,
some lights, and some clips. Mm-hmm. And, like, the CDA is just, like, swarming the place. I'm like, that's a great place to take a kid that you're trying to hide.
Yeah. So they run into Waternoose, who is, like, the head of the company, and didn't know that it was, like, bring your daughter to work day or whatever.
To your obscure relative to work day.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I must have missed the memo. So Mike has to go get the key card for her door, but once again, paperwork. So he's not allowed to get the key card.
Yeah, and while that's going on, Sully they're in the locker room.
Yep.
And she has to go to the bathroom. So she goes to the bathroom, and like a cute little kid does, she's singing in the bathroom really loud, the song she just made up.
Yeah.
Because that's what little girls do. She's singing along.
Did you lose this?
And then Sully's waiting for her, and then, like...
She thinks it's a game now.
She thinks it's a game, so... She flushes the toilet and everything. He's like, you're done. She thought she, flushed herself down the toilet, but she's hiding, right behind him. And then so they kind of, hide and seek in the bathroom.
Yeah. So, Sully takes her to the scare floor with him, and Mike is like, yeah, I got the kid's door, and Sully's like, that's the wrong door.
That's not Boo's door.
He's like, Boo.
It's like, Boo.
Who's Boo?
Like
you named it?
It's like, yeah. And I forgot just this one little point right here that Randall was talking with his name is Fungus.
Oh, yeah.
They're talking in the bathroom about the girl, the kid that escaped and about some machine or something. Mm-hmm. You don't find out what the machine is till later. But yeah.
And then, the kid's gone again.
She wanders off because she's a little kid. And
Yep.
attention span's like 2 seconds.
So, Randall comes across Mike, and he realizes that he was at that Chinese restaurant. So, he thinks that he knows something about the kid.
Yeah.
And so, he threatens him. And all the while, Sully's trying to chase down Boo. And Boo ends up in a trash can. And the trash can goes down the trash compactor. And so he goes down there and he's freaking out because he sees her getting like crushed and sliced and diced and fired and all kinds of stuff. And then he comes out as this little block and there's one little eyeball thingy sticking out.
But she's not really in there because she climbed out.
Yep, and she
had
came
left one of
across
her.
the other monster kids. And they just accepted her. They were super happy.
It's like a dairy K group,
Yeah.
for like the company's kids that they have to bring to work.
And so then you see poor George.
Again.
He is in the locker room and he opens his locker and all of Boo's toys and stuff that Sully got rid of fall out on him. And there's another 2319. Again. For George. So then Mike comes up with this plan of what to do. But I don't remember exactly what the plan was.
So Randall had cornered him and told him that the door is going to be in the scare floor for only 30 minutes.
Yeah. From noon to 12:30.
It's like, what happens at noon? It's like, I get a timeout. It's like the floor will be empty because everyone's at lunch. And you'll only be there for those 30 minutes. And he's like bending his arms this way too. I'm like, that's not nice.
Yeah.
But the door is there on the scare floor. And
Sully doesn't trust Mike's plan because he thinks Randall's up to something.
Which is a good thing to think of. And so Mike's like, it's fine. He opens the door. He goes and jumps on the bed.
And he gets captured.
And he gets, by Randall.
Yep. So Mike is hiding under the desk. And Randall leaves, lets the door go. And so Randall is off going to his secret lair. And Sully and Boo, follow him.
And they find, this hidden passage. This hidden room.
Yeah.
And Boo had found the entrance.
Yeah, she found it.
She found how to open it up.
She's messing with the stuff, and she pulled on the right one.
And she's like, I made a hole!
Yeah. And so, while they're doing that, Randall reveals his plan to Mike. Because Mike is strapped in this chair where this machine is, gonna do something weird to him.
It's, extracting, the screams or something. It's a weird machine.
And so he turns on the machine, and Mike is, strapped in the chair, and he gets so close, and then,
it turns off.
Yep. Because it got unplugged. And that gives Sully time to get over there, and he switches Mike and Fungus.
Yep.
And Fungus ends up in the chair, and then when Randall comes back, he sees that Fungus is over there, and he's, got no color, and his lips are, gigantic and red.
So they're trying to find water news to tell them what's going on. And he sees that they go to this, the simulation area, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they're over there in the simulation area, but they haven't run it yet. The running it comes later. But, so, Water Noose is in on the plan. And Sully and Mike have, told him all about the plan and said that this is the kid that they're looking for.
That was, with the simulation. Not the second one at the very end. The one right now where Sully does the simulation to show the new recruits, as they say, and he does it, and Boo's right there, and she gets scared, and so she freaks out and runs to Water News, and that's when they're telling him.
And so Mike and Sully get exiled.
Yep, they get banished because Water News is in on it all the time.
They meet the abominable snowman.
It's in the Himalayas.
Welcome to the Himalayas.
And they're just in the this cave, and there's snow cones.
Mike and Sully are fighting. because Sully wants to go save Boo, and Mike's like, we gotta save ourselves first.
Well, he's got a point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of our banished right now.
Yeah. So, Sully has a plan, and he, like, goes on the sled down to the village to find a door, because he's like, there's gotta be at least one door
Yeah.
that I can get it through. And he does find one, and so he goes to the secret little passage to save Boo, and he gets Boo and starts fighting with Randall. Yes. And then Mike shows up.
Mike shows up with the snowballs.
Yeah, it's like throwing them at him.
It's like he throws one at Sully at first, and he's trying to talk to him, and Randall has Sully around the neck and is choking him.
Yeah.
And Boo's like, he's like,
He's like,
it's like he needs help.
And so, Mike throws another snowball, and it hits
Right where Randall
in the face, yeah.
And so, like, Sully just punches him.
Yep. So then they try to go put Boo back in her door.
Because they grabbed the key that Randall had.
But Randall's, like, right behind them, so they send the doors up, and they jump on the doors, and they're, like, riding all these doors, and they keep going in and out of them, and everything. And it's kind of cool. In one of the doors that they go in, there's a Nemo plush on the floor. There is. I don't remember which door it is. It's one of the brown doors they go in, because they go in a couple of brown doors. But there's a Nemo plush on the floor. But then,
I know Nemo's at the end.
Yeah, there's two Nemos.
Okay.
There's two of them, because there's the one at the end. But there's one early, a little bit earlier, and it's like a plush thing laying on the floor. And Boo gets brave. She's not scared of Randall anymore.
Nope.
And Sully discovers that the laughing also powers things. So all of the doors turn on because
she's laughing.
Because she's laughing at Mike.
Yes, and so, like, I love Boo at this point, because Randall's trying to, like, push Sullivan off this door, and it's, like, hanging really high, and so it could really, kill him. So she jumps on the back of Randall's back and just, like, starts just, like, messing with him. Then she grabs, like, a little bat and just starts hitting him on the head.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute.
So they keep going in and out of doors. And then they finally get... one of the doors gets pulled back down to one of the areas, and one of the CDA people, one of the monsters, when the CDA shows back up after the door fights, it doesn't have a number on him. I noticed that. I just thought it was funny.
I didn't notice that.
I noticed a few issues with the numbers on the CDA people throughout. Most of it was here at the end.
Oh, okay.
Of
course, Randall would have been shoved into a different door and just kind of
yeah,
exiled in his own way.
Oh, yeah, there's no number on that monster, and then there is a number on that monster. So there's a glitch with it. This is when they've gotten the door and they're running back to the simulation room, and at this point, Waternoose is chasing them.
Yes, because Mike had grabbed, because Boo had been, in this costume the entire time. So he had her costume and was running the other way.
Yep.
And then Sully and Boo were running the opposite direction.
Yep. And he realizes it, so he turns back. And so they all end up in the simulation room.
Yes.
But you don't quite know it yet. You just see Sully struggling to get this door on, and then he goes inside, and Boo is hiding. Waternoose comes in, and Waternoose and Sully are, arguing with each other, and Waternoose is, saying, I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to let this company die, and all this. And simulation terminated. Simulation terminated.
It's they got the whole thing on camera.
Yep. So Waternoose is arrested, and so the CDA comes back in again, and at this point there's two number 112s of the CDA monsters. There's one over where number 1 comes in.
Which is Roz.
Yes. And then there's also one right by where Mike and Sully are standing. Because I was like looking, I was like, because you know when you've seen it that many times, you start to notice the littler things. And I was like, hey, that's the same number, and this is 2 different monsters.
I guess I wasn't paying attention very well this time when I watched it, because I'm like, nope.
Well, when I've
things.
seen a movie like this many times, I start to look for goofs.
She's nitpicking now.
I do, because it's fun. It's entertaining. It's cool to find the little goofs.
The little goofs.
Yeah. So, Roz has Waternoose arrested, and they are going to send Boo home. So they get a couple minutes to say goodbye, and this is where she has Nemo.
Yes.
And she also has the Toy Story ball.
And Jessie.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, this movie came out 2 years before Toy Story. Or not Toy Story, Nemo.
Yes, it was almost 3 years.
Yeah.
They're still working on it, so that is just foreshadowing.
Yeah. So the 2 Nemos that are in there, that's just like a little gift. Like, this is what's coming up.
It is. They started doing that in their movies, so you have to watch.
Yeah. And then there's also a Tomorrowland poster.
There is.
On the wall.
So.
But not that same room.
No.
That's a little bit later.
So Sully has to tell her bye, and that's the sad part, and I always cry. Anyways, so then her door gets shredded.
Yep. And then they think that the factory's going to get closed because, I mean, they can't scare people anymore. They're not allowed to. But Sully is like, we can make them laugh. Laughs are more powerful.
So that's what the factory changes to, using laughter instead. So it's like a year later.
Yep. So then usually Mike is actually in there and he's trying to get this kid to laugh and all this.
He's like doing like this little comedy thing. I laughed at his jokes. But
yeah, I did too. And this is where the Tomorrowland poster is.
That is a Tomorrowland poster, yeah.
And Mike is all happy because he's doing really well, and Sully's like, well, laughs are 10 times more powerful than screams. And then Mike has a surprise for Sully, so he takes him and he shows him that he fixed Boo's door, except for one piece, and that one piece happens to be the one piece that Sully has.
Yes, which he's been carrying around with him, and the picture that Boo drew.
Yep. And so he fixes it, the door activates, he goes inside, and you hear, Kitty!
And then I cry again.
And then you get to see the wonderful end credits animation.
I love the ends, but that's me. I love it.
It's all really good. I just really like this movie.
Me too.
So, music. Of course, we have the If I Didn't Have You, the Oscar-winning song by Randy Newman, who, Randy Newman was born in 1943. He does quite a bit of music for Disney and Pixar.
His most famous ones, of course, are going to be Toy Story.
Yes. All 3 of them he does the music for. The Princess and the Frog.
Love that music in Princess and the Frog.
Too.
Oh my gosh.
It's great. Meet the Parents, he also did the music for. And his most recent music that he is working on right now is Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yes!
Which at
so excited.
This point when this has come out, that movie is already out.
And I've just seen it.
Yep, I will have seen it at that point too. But we're a little bit ahead in recording, so we haven't quite seen it yet. But
I love the original Wreck-It Ralph, so
yeah,
I'm like,
Wreck-It Ralph
yes!
is good.
I'm excited.
And Randy Newman's first ever project was the Lively set. He did the lyrics for Look at Me, and that was in 1964.
Wow.
So he was 21.
Still going?
Yeah.
Still going strong?
And he has done music for 228 different projects.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I love the music in this. It just fits perfectly for everything that's happening.
I like how it's got some jazz elements to it. It does.
The opening credits is very jazzy.
Oh, yeah. It's true. And, like, just even the song, If I Didn't Have You.
Yeah.
That's got a lot of jazz to it.
Yeah. So, comparison. I've seen Monsters University once. She's wearing her Monsters University shirt. Anytime I think about Monsters University, I confuse it with the plot of the Goofy movie where Max goes to college, so I can't really speak to it right now. I need to watch it again.
Love Monsters University. So this Monsters University is kind of like a prequel in a way.
Yeah, it's a prequel
because it
sequel.
talks about what happened before the events of Monsters, Inc. So you learn that Mike and Sully go to the same college, Monsters University. They weren't friends. They didn't like each other at first.
Okay.
And you learn that Mike and Randall were roommates because they're both in the scare program. And Randall actually used to wear glasses before. And he would he jumped at this noise and he did his,
Invisible. His camouflage.
But his glasses were still on. And Mike's like, that's amazing. He's like, you should use that, but lose the glasses to give it away. And so that's why he's squinting all the time in Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to have glasses on.
Yeah.
But he does it. And so Sullivan, of course, he's going off his famous father, who's a famous scarer. And so he's going off his namesake. But he doesn't try really at all in the scare program. And him and Mike get kicked out of the scare program because they knocked over this canister of the dean. And she had the record. And so then the rest of it is talking about they're trying to get back into the scare program, but the only way they can do that is if they win the scare games, which is...
That's why I get it confused.
The fraternities and sororities going against each other.
That's
in the
why
set
I
of
get
games.
That's why I get it confused, because in the Goofy movie where Max goes to college, they have the X Games.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I get it confused.
Yes.
I was wondering why I kept getting it confused.
And so Mike and Sully have to team up together with their fraternity called Usma Kappa, and they're okay. That's literally what their symbols are. Okay. And they're just like a group of misfits. Mm-hmm. And they're not expected to win anything because there's the Roar Mega Roars, if I remember correctly. And they're like the big, bad scarers and everything on campus. And, of course, the underdogs win.
Yeah.
So, but what happens, though, is Sullivan cheats. Because at the very end is a scare simulation. And it's set to the highest level.
Oh, okay.
And Mike's not a scary monster. He's not. And so Sullivan goes before him and breaks kind of the machine to make it easier for Mike to win.
Gotcha.
And so Sullivan, he cheats. And so Mike learns that he's not scary. He's not. So he has to prove himself. So he goes into this door that some students have been working on. And it's a door that leads into a camp full of kids.
Oh.
Which is a lot of kids. And the kids aren't afraid of him, of Mike, when he goes in. And so Sullivan has to go in there and help him. And the door gets shut down, so they can't go back to the monster world. So it's, Mike does, because he's really good at scare tactics. He creates such a big scare that it scares all the adults.
Oh.
So powerful that they get back into the monster world. And they don't get back into... the scare program. They actually get kicked out of school for it. And how they get into Monsters, Inc. is that they get hired in the mailroom. They're always hired in the mailroom. And that's where they meet the Abominable Snowman, because he used to work there.
Yeah.
And the reason why you learn how he got banished is because it was mail fraud.
Huh.
Mail fraud. Yeah. And so they slowly work their way up through the company. So they're mail, then they do can wrangling, then cafeteria, and they slowly move up and they get to be, scare team.
Cool.
So that's how you learn about that. And I love Monsters University. There's some good actors in there too. You got Charlie Day is in it. If you know It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Nope.
He's Charlie, and that's funny guy. But yeah. It's a really solid second movie. It is.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best ones.
I remember I liked it. I just haven't watched it in a while, and I always get it confused with the Goofy movie.
Oh, I love it. Every time it's on, I watch it. I do. So yeah, that's a comparison. I mean, it just gives a backstory to everything.
Yeah. I'll probably watch it eventually. I have Thanksgiving break coming up, so.
You should watch it. It's awesome.
Well, I mean, I've seen it before and I liked it. I just need to refresh my memory.
I was like, I just love it. And I'm like, every chance. I mean, my Monsters, it's my Monsters University shirt, and it says, it's Ooze Macappas.
Yeah.
And it says, we're okay.
Alright, so trivia?
Okay. A lot of talking. So, it took 11 to 12 hours to just render one single frame of Sully, because he has over 2 million individually animated hair strands.
Yeah, and in 4K on my 4K TV, it looks awesome.
Yeah, because it does spend that much time on it. It's a lot.
It's not even a digitally remastered one. It's just the normal original one, and it looks really good.
Yep, they took that time to really animate every single one of those strands. He's got over 2 million strands, so it took quite a while to get that going. So the sushi restaurant that is mentioned in it, it's called Harryhausen's. Mm-hmm. It's a reference to this pioneer of stop motion. His name is Ray Harryhausen, and he did the animation stop motion for films like King Kong, Jason and the Argonauts, and Clash of the Titans.
Okay.
So like that weird kind of like almost like action figure kind of claymation thing.
Oh, okay.
That's where that's from. And so that's just like a little tribute to him.
Okay.
And this is the only Pixar film of the 2000s to have bloopers at the end. They literally animated bloopers.
Yeah.
And of course, then there's the extra scene where the company play.
Uh-huh.
There's that part.
The company play, yeah.
Of course, we did mention that you see foreshadowing, of course, of you see Nemo. Mm-hmm. And that's, of course, Finding Nemo, which comes out a couple of years later.
Yep, in 2003.
Yep. And fun trivia for me, personally me, this is my dad and I's favorite movie.
Nice.
Because so when we watched it together all the time, and so I call him Kitty, and he calls me Boo. And I was Boo for Halloween this year, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For my where I teach at, we did Disney theme.
Oh, okay.
And I decided to do Boo.
Nice.
And I was the most adorable Boo ever. I blended in with the kids. It's fun.
Well, I mean, you're as big as the kids, so.
Yeah, I know.
Alright. So where it has been on the list before. 2010 it was not. But 2012 it was at number 223. As well as in 2014. 2016 it was number 227. And then as of today, it is number 220. So it's kind of hovering around the 220s area.
Yeah, I can see that.
So previously, number 222, the 2010 list, Barry Lyndon, which we watched recently, from 1975. The 2012 list, Fistful of Dollars, from 1964. The 2014 list, Dog Day Afternoon, from 1975, which we watched a little bit ago.
Yeah.
It's been a bit since we watched it, a few months now.
Yeah. I forgot it's been a few months.
The 2016 list, The Bourne Ultimatum from 2007, which we watched a few months ago at this point now.
I'm flipping it off at this point.
Yeah. And then as of today, The Maltese Falcon, which is coming up in about six movies or so. So about 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And that's from 1941. So favorite line. I've got a few. One of my favorites is like right at the beginning. Mm-hmm. They're walking to work, and they said the really, really big like chicken monster. You only see his feet, and Sully goes, "See that, Mikey? Ted's walking to work." And Mike goes, "Big deal. Guy takes 5 steps and he's there."
It's like in the bloopers, you've learned that it's Rex from Toy Story.
Yeah, he just makes the chicken sound. Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny. I remember the first time I laid eye on you. This one I think is my favorite. I think I have a plan here. Using mainly spoons, we dig a tunnel and release it into the wild. Spoons. When Sully is showing Boo there's nothing in the closet to be afraid of, he goes, "No monster in here." Steps in the closet. Well, now there is. It's bringing an obscure relative to work day. Kids, sure. Tough kids, sissy kids, kids who climb on rocks. They're asking if there's any kids in the village when they're in exile. Water noose. I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die. And then, of course, Kitty.
I'll just do...
I probably stole a couple.
No, you didn't actually. Huh. So, Mike is looking at the cube of trash that's Sully has, and he hears a bunch of kids. He's like, "How many kids you got in there?"
Oh, yeah, I like that line.
And then, actually, all of them are from Mike. So, when Randall and him, like, Randall has him strapped down to the machine, and he calls him cretin. He's like, it's cretin. If you're going to threaten me, do it properly. And I think this is probably my favorite one. It says, "Once you name it, you start getting attached to it."
True. Very true.
That's Mike. And I'm like, well, that's completely and utterly true.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I like my "once you name it," but that's me.
Sure, whatever.
Alright.
I don't really have an issue with any lines in this movie.
Yeah.
Once you name it,
you start getting attached to it.
So our rating, I gave it an 8. I just really like it. There is a few times when it's a little bit childish now that I've gotten older, but I mean, I still love it a lot, so.
Maybe because I work with kids all day, that childish thing has not gotten to me.
I like it. It's really fun.
So entertaining. I give it an 8 too. Okay. Again, I've watched this so many times. Yeah. I love it. I've always loved it. I have that special connection too with my dad. So, I mean, solid 8. I'm not going to give it lower. I don't know if I can give it any higher. I'm trying to think if I give it higher.
There's some stuff that's just better than it.
I was like, at the time, that was like fantastic animation. Like, top-notch animation.
It still stands up today, but there is stuff that is better in animation now.
I would think, I know you mentioned this when we did our Frozen thing, I think some of the background detail could be worked on. But that's just, I mean, the focus is really one on, like, the main center thing.
Yeah, because that one is not like Monsters, Inc. isn't really an outdoorsy, it's more of an indoor one. There's not a lot of background animation that you can do, but when they are outside, there is a little bit of...
It could be worked out a little more.
A little bit better in the background animation, but the rest of the animation is good. And I feel like a lot of times...
Sully especially.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times, even in movies now, the background animation gets forgotten. Just because it's in the background.
You gotta wait till Coco then. Because that's changed. It's changed.
I said some movies, not all.
Oh, I'm just telling you.
But yeah. So our next film is The Grapes of Wrath from 1940. And I'm going to try and see if I can read it between now and then. I'm on the waiting list.
I'm honestly going to say this now. I've read the book. I hated the book. It depressed the crap out of me. And I've seen parts of the movie, and I didn't like it that much either. So we'll see how it goes.
Alright. So we do have premium. So if you pay for premium, you will get uncut episodes, early released episodes, usually on Monday, sometimes later, but it will be before Friday. And then a special monthly episode every month for if you pay $1 a month. If you pay $5 a month, you'll get all of that. Plus, you'll be able to join us for a movie of your choice every 50 movies. So if you pay in time the $5 a month, then you get up to 5 movies. Our next monthly special episode for December, which will be this month, and it'll be out probably by the end of the month, depending on when we record it. We are going to be watching The Prince of Egypt, which is one of the movies that I thought should have been on the list that wasn't. Mm-hmm. Try to contain myself because I really love this movie.
I will try to contain her, but I can't promise anything.
Yep, there is a possibility that this episode could be a little bit longer than the rest of our monthly episodes, but that's okay. And that if you don't want to pay for actual, per full premium, that will be available for $1 a month, $1 as well. All of our monthly special episodes are available for $1 if you want them and not pay for premium. Also, we are running a contest, so one person out of every 10 that leaves a positive written review will be randomly selected to join us for a movie of their choice, as long as we haven't done it already. So just leave us a review, let us know how you think we're doing, and we'll get you on here.
It's please do a review, please let us know if there's something you'd like us to talk more about.
Yeah, if you have a request for a specially monthly episode that you're I will pay $1 for this, let us know. Or if there's something specifically in normal episodes you want us to talk about more.
Yeah.
And where to find us.
So you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Cat and Jess Talk the Best. Our email is catandjesstalkthebest250@gmail, and our website is catandjesstalkthebest.podbean.com.
Yeah, and please do interact with us on any of those. I mean, the website, I don't think you can really interact with us very much, but if you email us, we'll email you back.
Facebook
I get it
comments.
straight to my phone. Yeah, you can email us, Twitter, Facebook, any of those, and we'll reply back to you.
We're friendly people.
Yeah. Also share the links to the episodes,
so we can get more listeners.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still do it no matter what, but it'd be cool if we had some more listeners. It'd be cool.
Definitely.
But let your friends know they can find the podcast pretty much everywhere: iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and every episode is on our website at podbean.com or on the Podbean app. There's where you can find every episode. Our opening music is by Audio Binger, and you can find him on Facebook, YouTube, and he has a website, audiobinger.net. And that's all we got for you.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.